Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Burl. Ives. Today is Tuesday, April 20th. We are at a work session, and let me go through some of the highlights of today, if you guys don't mind. We approved our minutes from April 13th meeting. We went on to the consent agenda. I will just I'm going to go through a handful of things. We approved an agreement with the city of Grand Rapids to apply for a CARES Act grant for the airport to do some necessary fixing and maintenance of the operation out there. We authorized the IM Care Director, County Board to sign a contract between IM Care and the Woods Therapy and Counseling Services. We pulled one, we added it back on the regular agenda. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We did award bids for propane, diesel fuel, and gasoline for May 1st through May 30th of 2022 to all of the following areas: Swan River, Togo, Balsam, Deer River, Arbo, Max, Nashwauk, Big Fork, I said Togo already, and in a Cohasset shop. All of these went to Davis Petroleum. Oh, excuse me. Two of them went to Edwards Oil, and then one went to Davis Petroleum. The approval of annual road maintenance agreements with the county chair and board to authorize county engineer to modify agreements needed upon mutual agreements between the townships and the cities. This is for road maintenance that might need to be authorized. We did talk about chloride, which will be coming up here a little bit, which will be affecting townships and cities too. We are going to have an oral bid coming up for, and you'll see it in our local newspapers too. But this will be from the land commissioner, and it's going to be on tract timber sales. So the oral bid will be on June 9th at 10 a.m. and it's going to be held at the Gun Park Pavilion. So I presume all loggers, heads up, you will probably get notice from our land department, and if not, we will be advertising it in the county newspaper. We did a handful of repurchasing for tax forfeited stuff. We did do an adoption of resolution for authorizing and fixing a notice for terms of tax forfeiting land sales to adjoining landowners. And then we did approve the Fairground Racetrack Agreement between Itasca County and the Grand Rapids Speedway, Inc. So heads up, race fans. Hopefully we'll be able to have a good season in racing this year. We had no citizen input. We did have a resolution opposing parole of James Shane Swanson. Mr. Snyder read a very nice letter, and I will just, if you guys don't mind, we did do a, excuse me here, we did a resolution for not allowing this gentleman parole, and I just, this is for Carin Streufert, when this lady got murdered, brutally murdered, I might add, on January 15th when she was walking home from at a restaurant, and she was taken and murdered and sexually assaulted and kidnapped. And the Board of Commissioners here passed this resolution, and with a signed letter going to the state of Minnesota saying we do not want this person to be paroled if all possible. So I just That affected our community very deeply, and it still affects our community, and we passed a resolution to say that we are opposed from allowing him to be released or put on parole. We did hear a nice review from IM Care on their IQ and UM documents. Sarah Anderson, really was Lexi. Lexi gave us a great presentation. You know, this is IM Care, and they're talking about the goods and the bads and what they need to work on and what they have done well. There's more to come. It happens every year. We get this report twice a year, I think it is, on this one. But we have other documents that we get quarterly. But a nice report from IM Care. We do have an updated tobacco ordinance that needs to go into effect. I will just tell you, you know, here our ordinance in Itasca County had the wording of 18 years old or older can buy tobacco. State of Minnesota passed the law, and we need to update our ordinance. State of Minnesota passed, it was 21 or older, so we will need to do our updating of our ordinance here for tobacco sales, and this to stay on pace with everything else in the state of Minnesota. The Transportation Department asked for a change in allocations and job duties, be highway sign tech to a highway maintenance worker position. That passed on the consent agenda for okay next week. We did have an update on chloride. So this is for all dirt roads in Itasca County. Our bids came back high. And by high, you know, an easy $100,000 high. For, you know, chloride, I guess, has gone up 15%. But, you know, so has, you know, the gas in the truck and the person in the truck and their insurance and everything else has all gone up in today's world. At this point in time, we have recommended to the Transportation Department to take money out of their reserves to pay the difference that's needed to put the calcium chloride down on the roads so we can control our dust this year on gravel roads. And then we had a nice talk, the last item we had from Mr. Danucci. Basically, it's called Cdbg Program. This was a deed grant program on broadband. The broadband situation here in Minnesota, as we all know, in Itasca County, some of us have it, and then there's a lot of us that don't. With that in mind, us commissioners, I think I can speak for all of them at this point in time. We understand how important broadband is to people, you know, be it working from home or having your children do homework from home. So we have put this high up on our things to do in our importance here in this county. But DEED had came out with a handful of townships and cities that that almost, we'll call it almost pre-approved grants if they apply to help with broadband. And we are going to be mailing out letters to all townships, to all cities, to make sure they understand about these grants that are out there. And we're going to go forward. We're going to try, and it'll take years, but we're going to put this on our top of our list. We're going to try to get everybody broadband. It'll take years to do. I mean, and I think we understand as commissioners, we don't need to be educated anymore. We need to help these townships and cities put this in the ground and get fiber to their house, and be it from whatever company, but to be able to allow their children and themselves to have opportunity to work from home, do school work from home, or just have, you know, the internet at your house without you know, having to go to a dish style, which should, you know, it's slower than molasses. All right, I guess just a couple of other comments. We had couple of committee reports from our commissioners. You know, one of them, David, I guess step one bids will be going out here in a week or two for the jail. Had a nice report about 4-H in the fairgrounds, and question was asked basically if there's any money set aside from the state of Minnesota, if there's any money for you know, the fair or any kind of festivals. I know I read about it, but I just don't know if anybody's applied for it. At this point in time, you know, it's talk. I guess no one knows if there's a place to sign up for things. We've all had meetings on land, be it taxes for people's property taxes. We've all had phone calls like that. And we've all had meetings with the Economic Development, IEDC. We've had communications that way. And Mr. Danucci kind of gave a nice report here today, talked about his community, his hometown of Nashwauk is going to get broadband, I guess be the second provider of broadband in that community. So with that, everybody, please be safe. Let's hope it doesn't snow anymore. Everybody have a good day. Thank you.